Hi there, I'm Judy Croon, Canada's keynote humorist. Welcome to another episode of Laugh Long and Prosper. Shelf help with a smile, stress busters with a smirk. You get the point, so let's get started. My guest today is psychic Cindy Bachly. I've wanted to have her on the show so many times, and now I am able to. So, Cindy, thank you so much for joining me. So can you tell me a little bit about the difference between our listeners? Are you a psychic? Are you a psychic medium? What is the difference between a psychic and a psychic medium?
Well, I would classify myself as a psychic. A psychic medium is a person to me that I think feels that they're getting their messages from other spirits from the beyond, where I just use my own tools of myself.
Okay, and have you always been able to do this, or is it is it a skill that you have to work, like a muscle that you have to work out all the time?
No, I did not always do this. And actually, I fell into it in a funny way. I had gone to a group session, and I happened to be sitting beside a lady, and I talk a lot. So I actually said something to her, and she goes, "Oh my God." So then she offered me at lunchtime if I would please do a reading for her. And I said, I've never done one. And there I am today. So it started with her, and I just kept on going. And that would be about 40 years ago.
Wow. And do you, are you an auditory psychic or a visual psychic, or what's the other one? I can't remember.
The best way I could explain it to you is sometimes I just know things. Sometimes I feel things, and sometimes I see things. But I think what it is I tune into people because I've learned in life, no two people are the same. So when I do my reading, I take the person in front of me and I don't compare them to anybody else. It's just them and me.
And after you've done the reading, if that person were to come back to you a year later, can you remember what you said to them, or is that reading completely gone from you?
Oh, it's gone the minute I hang up the phone or they leave. No, I couldn't possibly do that because I'll tell you something that I have learned. Sometimes you might think you've seen that person before, and it isn't. So I don't even try. So I have to pick up to where the person sits in front of me, and I prefer it that way, or my head would be so full of cobwebs.
And it's a lot of pressure too. I mean, can you, obviously without divulging any any names, but have you seen things for clients that they've come back to you and said, that is exactly what happened to me? And what is the time frame typically for advice that you give to people?
Well, to be very honest with you, over the years, people have said to me, oh, that can't be. And usually it's the ones that think that it actually happens. So I get a lot of feedback when they come, but I usually ask them to give me the feedback after we finish the reading. I don't want to know about it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy my readings. I have a lot of fun with them. So I would have to say that people, when they come to me, they're very comfortable because I'm comfortable to be with. And they know I'm giving them my undivided attention. So people do come back and tell me a lot.
Do you also do, for example, predictions for the year, or do you just specifically do individual? So can you give us, for an example, what's going to happen in 2021 for the planet, let's say? Do you see that kind of stuff, or is it just picking up on people's vibes when you're reading them individually?
To be very honest with you, I've never done that. It's never interested me, and I've always been very busy, so I just don't do that. And to me, it depends who you're sitting in front of and what country you're talking to. Everybody has different things going on, and my concern is the person in front of me. So when I do my reading, I agree with you. So I also believe in negatives and positives, and you could be in a very bad situation, but I also believe that sometimes you got to go through the negatives to feel the positive. So yes, there's always two ways to look at things, and yes, you're down today, but tomorrow will get better because this is what's going to happen. So I do believe in negatives and positives, totally. And I can be honest with you, in all the years I've done a reading, I don't think I've had people leave my office that are unhappy. Now, I've had some sad because they were losing a child or something, or, people lose people, or they don't want to know that something's happening, but at the same time, you know what? They still leave pretty happy.
And if someone says to you, listen, I'm not great with bad news, so just tell me
They don't have to tell me because I'll tell you something. I know when a person walks in that room what they are capable of listening to, and I'll be very honest with you. Even if it's something to do with a negative, you can also make it better too, because you can still put it out there in a nicer way. And I am a firm believer. If somebody, I can give you an example. If a lady comes in and she's got 4 and 5 children, and the first thing I pick up is her husband's having an affair, I don't believe that woman gains anything by knowing. I'm not here to play a superhero, and I don't need brownie points. So I wouldn't maybe tell her, but I might tell her she's got to start looking at what's happening at home to see if she can fix up her home life without telling her.
Right.
Not everybody gains. Like, I'm not here to prove a point. Now, if it comes to death, I'll be very honest with you, I probably do say, and not too many people have ever asked me not to tell them, because at the end of the day, if you know that you have someone that has, like, you know, a very bad illness and they're not going to make it, and then I don't tell you, then you think, oh, well, she doesn't even know. So you have to actually do that. It depends on who and what the situation is.
I'm on the phone right now with Cindy Bachly. Cindy Bachly is a psychic in the GTA. And you can either call her, she does her readings over the phone, or you can visit her in person. So let's do both approaches. If someone were to call you over the phone, can you explain to our audience what is the process? What do they have to give you in order for you to read them?
Okay, the only thing they have to do is they would text me a picture of themselves and of anyone else that maybe they would want to ask about, and that's it. And then they would just send an e-transfer to my email address.
What do you charge, by the way? What do you charge for a 1 hour reading?
$130.
Okay, so they e-transfer you the $130. They send you a photo of whatever the person that they want you to read, let's say. And how many photos can they send you?
Oh, I don't care, 4 or 5, but I need a picture of them. It makes it easier. Now, some people, for some reason, don't want to send their picture. That's fine too. But, I mean, it's their time, their money.
Okay, and so what happens to you when you see that photo? Does it take you 5 minutes to sort of get into your process, or do you start seeing and feeling things right away?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like if you sent me a picture of you, I could do your reading right then and there. To be honest, I'm not really looking at the picture of the person's face. I just get a picture sent to me, and I find over the years, I think it's that I am able to look at someone. I like to know who I'm looking at.
Okay.
So that's why I can do it with or without the picture. I just prefer it because I like to know who I'm talking to.
If someone sends you a photo of themselves, or they send you a photo of someone that they want to get a reading on, if that person's a really bad person, can you pick up on that immediately? What is it? Do you feel it, or do you see it in the photo? You see a blackness around them. What is it that you feel?
No, I don't go by colors, and I don't go by that type of thing. I just know. It's like, you know, well, it depends on what you're talking about. I could tell you, am I allowed to talk about anybody?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, keep the names out of it, but for sure, tell me. And
I can give you an example. There was a woman many years ago, maybe 10 years ago. She had come for a reading, and she thought she was in love. She met him 3 weeks before, and I said to her that, no, I would strongly suggest you don't, because it's going to be a lot of heartache here. And she said, well, no, we're in love. And I said, is he thinking about going on a boat ride with you? She said, yes, he's got his boat, and we're going on a vacation. We've decided to get married. And I said, please don't go on the boat, because if you go, you won't come back. Anyways, it ended up, I heard from her family, she was murdered.
Oh, no.
He killed her on the boat. He was like, there was something wrong with him. So that's happened many a time. And something that I find very astounding myself, and don't ever think a reader can't be shocked over things. There was also one of a young girl that went missing. And the funny part of, well, nothing is funny about it. What had happened is I had gone to a reading party where they have 8 or 10 people there that I read. And the woman of the house, I asked her if there was a little girl that had been taken by somebody, and I described somebody. And no, she didn't know anyone. Well, about 1 year after, I got a call from the police, and they said to me they would like to come and speak to me. And I thought, oh my gosh, okay. So they asked me, they brought the paper that I wrote on, and they asked me, is that my writing? I go, yes. And could you tell us why you wrote this? And I said, I don't remember. And anyway, a year later, the lady who I did the reading for, her brother was arrested for murdering a 13-year-old girl. And it was, the total description was there. Exactly what he did, why he did it. She was a little cheerleader, and they were really astounded that I predicted a year ahead, so they wanted to make sure I didn't know this person. Like different things over the years.
Do you typically work with police? Is that the first and only time that you've had to deal with the police, or do you some?
No, I've been doing it over the years, but not quite the way people think so. So there's somebody I've worked with for many years, and yeah, but that's just done on the side. I'm not hired by them. It's just that person comes to me. There's 2 or 3 of them.
Do you have any other stories do you sometimes have people who, well, actually, let's finish the process. We talked about how you deal with somebody when they are speaking to you over the phone. When you are dealing with somebody in person, what's the process there?
They just come to my home, and it's actually no different. It's just like you and I are talking on the telephone, except we get to see each other.
So obviously you can see them, you don't need a photo of them, but they give you photos of people. If they want to know about somebody, they have to give you the photos of those people, correct?
No, not necessarily. Sometimes what happens is I bring up somebody and then go, oh, I know what you mean, and they'll show me a picture. But no, they didn't have to tell me. So it's just even the same as even when I do the readings on the telephone, if they just send a picture of themselves or one in person, I'm still going to pick up like parents or siblings or something. Like each reading's done different, so it depends what's going on in their life. So sometimes I pick up on their bosses or their jobs and things like that.
And do you write while you're speaking, or do you write and they're allowed to, do you just do the reading and they can record it, or they can write it down? What is that process like?
Okay, I don't write anymore because I've been writing for 45 years, so I got arthritis in my hands. So I just do talking. They can write if they like, but apparently I have never done tape, only because I do help the police sometimes. So they've asked me not to do that.
Right.
But to them, they just want to keep it professional.
What are typically some of the questions that people ask you in a reading, or what are the more popular questions that people ask you in a reading?
You know what? There's no set rule, to be very honest with you, because I try to cover every subject. That's what I do. So a lot of people say, there's nothing I can ask you. You've told me everything. But if I had to, it might be, I would say the general one is financial. And the other thing I would say is, can they trust a certain person? I think trust is a big question on people. And obviously relationships.
And when you give them an answer regarding financial information or relationship information, is that for a window of 6 months or 3 months or a year? How big is that window?
Well, you know what? It really depends. It's like there's a young girl getting married. They've had to delay the wedding twice, and it's a forever thing. So like I said, you know what? He's your first, best, and your last. You'll be married for always. Sometimes, I actually just got a text from a person in the Bahamas, and they said, you were right, I shouldn't have got married, they're leaving me. So I knew that would happen in 3 years, and it was within 2 days.
Wow.
So it really just depends on the story of the person, because like I say, like astrology to me, if you're a Gemini, you're this, you're that, and I don't agree with that, because I truly believe it depends on the lifestyle you've had, who your parents are, what country you live in. So to me, no two people are the same. And if you took 2 Geminis and one goes to private school and has a wonderful life, you can't take a Gemini that's been abused all their lives or neglected in foster care. So they don't have the same life. Or somebody had an abusive relationship. Well, that person has a different view than one that's never had one.
Right.
That's what I would find.
I'm on the phone with Cindy Bachly. Cindy Bachly is a psychic, and she doesn't have a website because she's just that. She's, she does her own thing. She is incredibly busy. Your best way to contact Cindy is to just shoot her an email at cbachly@yahoo.com. C and Bachly, Bachly, as in Bach, musical Bach. C Bachly, Bachly, cbachly@yahoo.com. Cindy, there's a phone number here as well for you. Can I give that to folks or no?
Absolutely, that's fine.
Okay, so you can also call Cindy. Her phone number is 416-498-0970. 416-498-0970. Of course, you can reach out to me and I can give you Cindy's information as well. Cindy, do you believe in, or do you ever see past lives of an individual or future lives of an individual, or are you just based on the right now, the person in front of you?
I actually have been very good at the past life, but not quite what you're saying. I believe that sometimes when a person sits in front of me and their father's passed over or something, I can see them. Now, to say that they were like a different culture or something, no, I don't do that. But people that they've known in this life and they've passed on, I can read them.
Okay, got it.
Okay, now when you're talking about future life, no, because I'll tell you something I don't know. And to me, that's a guessing game. And there's no proof to it. Like when I do my reading, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, who I'm talking about. There's no guesswork. It's not like in 2 days or 2 weeks you're going to meet someone, I'll say, no, this is what they're like and this is who they are. So it's completely different. And to me, when you try to predict the future in a different life, you can't prove it. So I've never even tried.
Cindy Bachly. Cindy Bachly at 416-498-0970. Psychic Cindy Bachly joining us on Psychic Friday. Again, her email address is cbachly@yahoo.com. I've included the link on this podcast, but you are more than welcome to get in touch with Cindy. She charges $130 for a 1-hour session. And she's really awesome. I'd love to have Cindy. I'd love to have you on the show again in the future.
Well, thank you very much.
So stay tuned. We will be having Cindy again on Psychic Friday. Cindy Bachly. In the meantime, for any more information about Laugh Long and Prosper, you can check out my website, judycroon.com, and be safe.